I often hear conservatives talking about how they care so much about the deficit and God, they want to get the budget under control. Then when you say, hey, there's a lot of waste in the Pentagon, why don't we cut the Pentagon a little bit, tighten their belts to make sure they're not wasting American taxpayer money? Oh, hair on fire. Oh, no, you can't do this. In fact, Paul Ryan recently said President Obama's cuts to the Pentagon were devastating the Pentagon. Devastating. Okay. By the way, President Obama's cuts to the Pentagon are minuscule and are not really cuts because they cut about $4 billion and they're adding at least 20 to 22 billion in extra costs because of the new war we launched in Iraq and Syria. So in fact, they're actually adding overall to the Pentagon budget. So let's find out if this would be devastating or if there's a lot of places where the Pentagon could use some belt tightening. Well, that's what the job of the Inspector General is at the Pentagon, to figure that out. His name is John Sopko, and he's investigating an interesting program. Let's tell you all about it. They say the Defense Department spent $486 million to buy the fleet of 20 Italian-made G222 military transport planes for the Afghan Air Force. But the agency terminated the program in 2013 because of the problems with performance, maintenance, and spare parts that kept the aircraft grounded. So let's quickly review. We already spent nearly $500 million, $486 million. There's no money for welfare. Okay, goddamn bums on welfare. There's no money for kids' education. There's no money for anything. We had to cut the NIH. Oops, we don't have an Ebola virus. Maybe we could have had one, but there's no money for it. But we had to spend $486 million on planes, which we decided, oh, those don't have the right spare parts and having issues with performance, so we're going to just scrap them entirely. The agency sold 16 of the planes as scrap for 6 cents per pound, recovering a tiny fraction of the price it paid for them. So 4 of the planes are still in existence. They don't know what to do with them, right? But 16 they sold off for literally scrap metal. But let's do the calculation there. And don't worry, it's not us. Washington Post did the calculation, okay? So everybody's clear on the math. You know how much we got? $32,000. That's what we got back. Jesus. When Major Brad Avotes, a Pentagon spokesman, was asked about this, the Washington Post says that he said, the agency strives to ensure responsible stewardship of taxpayers' dollars. Does this sound like responsible stewardship to you? Let's review the numbers one last time. $486 million magically turned into $32,000 in a Pentagon disappearing act. Poof, it's gone. We don't have enough money. My ass, we don't have enough money. They just take all the money that you guys work your whole life for. You pay a lot of taxes. A lot of people are upset about taxes. I understand that. You're worried about big government. I understand that. Here it is. Big government takes your tax dollars and they flush it down the toilet. But it's not really flushing down the toilet. Somebody got that $486 million. Somebody made an obscene profit from that $486 million. Did it help the Afghan Air Force? Not at all. Did it help the U.S.? Taxpayers? Are you kidding me? It robbed us blind. But somebody got paid. And those guys continue to make a tremendous amount of money. And you know what's weird is that a lot of the congressmen who vote on plans like this wind up working for some of those defense contractors, and a lot of the generals who authorize this at the Pentagon also wind up working at those defense contractors. What a wonderful, unrelated coincidence. On a daily basis, these guys are fleecing us. They know that if they put it in the Pentagon, it will not be questioned because they will have their bought congressmen and senators go out there and scream from the rooftops, "Don't you dare touch the Pentagon! We're in the middle of wars. We're being threatened by ISIS and Ebola and everything else. So we need all these planes that don't work. We need to spend all of the money in the Pentagon, and it should never be questioned. Because if you question it, you might realize how much they're robbing us." You gotta get money out of politics. If you don't, they're just playing you for a fool, man. They're just taking literally money out of your pocket and giving it to their buddies. In this case, it happens to be defense contractors. There's a million other cases. wolf-pack.com, man. We got to go get them. United, there isn't anything we can't do. Wolfpack's point is to get an amendment to get money out of politics. Until you do that, this highway robbery is going to continue indefinitely.